Hey guys, this is the interview questions that Kanishtaa has set up for everybody. Please forgive me, I really don't feel good today, but I know it needs to get done, and I was gonna do it with my mate, but yeah, that's not gonna happen. So here we go. Question number 1. What name do you go by, and what is its significance to you? I go by a bunch of different names. Normally I'm seen as Farah Noom Zeta, which means nameless goddess. So that's pretty much what I'm known by the most. The significance of it is, well, it means nameless goddess because I can't remember how to say my true name, much less spell it, so there's that. Question number 2. How old are you, and what is the gender you identify as? Well, I'm female. I've never been anything other than female. This lifetime I'm 22. At the moment, as far as any other age, that's, you'll just have to come ask me. Number 3, what is your OtherKin terrain species? I identify as quite a few, actually. I have a dragon, however the dragon is not an earth type dragon. It's not an earthen-bound one. I also have a wolf. She's more of a white color. I'm more of a white color with a few like dark patches of fur on my shoulders and then like red markings around the muzzle and the eyes and stuff like that from hunting. I'm also a phoenix too. And the fun part about my phoenix is the feathers and the flame feathers change colors depending on my mood. So yeah, you guys can have fun with that one. Question 4. How long have you known you were OtherKin? How old were you when you first awakened? I've known I was OtherKin my entire life. I didn't have a term for it until about a few years ago, I guess. I've always been different though. I've always been more of an outdoor kind of person. I've always enjoyed like rolling around in the grass and feeling the fresh air. So I've pretty much known my entire life. Question 5. How did I find the OtherKin community? Ironically, I found the OtherKin community by going on I Love Werewolves. It's kind of a retarded website where you go in and you get all these like little random posts about vampires and werewolves and stuff like that, and I ended up meeting a kin there and we started talking and became friends and talked a lot on Facebook and stuff like that, and then we gradually migrated into the OtherKin community once we figured out exactly what it was called. Number 6. How does being OtherKin affect your life? Being OtherKin actually makes it very difficult for me. I have to be around OtherKin. I can deal with humans, I can be around humans, but I can't do it for long periods of time. I can't work a normal mundane job. It actually drives me insane. It makes me feel like I'm more caged. Computer, why are you being stupid? Okay. So I can't really do... I can't do a mundane job. Number 7. Are you out of the metaphysical closet? If so, to whom? I guess you could say I'm out of the closet, but at the same time I'm not. I talk to pretty much whoever asks. If you ask me, I'll tell you. I'm not gonna lie. I tried to tell my mother one time, but she thought it was all in my head and completely dismissed it. So, I'm not gonna try with her again anytime soon. Pretty much my closest friends know who I am. And then, of course, the OtherKin community I have on Facebook. Number 8. How did or would your family react to you being OtherKin? Honestly, they'd probably just do what they already did. They'll just say it's all in my head and then move along. They don't really pay attention to what I do or what I say anymore. Which is kind of a good thing, but at the same time, it's kind of not. It's just whatever. Number 9. What does being OtherKin mean to you? Of course, everybody has their own little definition of this, so this is my definition, my personal opinion of what being OtherKin means. To me, being OtherKin means that you're mainly just trapped in a human body. And you're forced to adhere to the ritualistic, drone-like behavior of being human. But you know that deep down in your soul, your heart, and your mind, that you're not supposed to be in this particular form. You're not supposed to be dealing with the shit that you have to be dealing with, pretty much. I would say that being OtherKin and actually being openly OtherKin means that you're doing everything you possibly can to identify as your true self. Be it whatever you happen to end up as. So the only thing I can say to that is, if you're going to have a definition of what it means, stick to it. You are who you are, and no one else can say anything different. 10. How do you believe you came to be OtherKin? Is it a psychological connection? Were you reincarnated? Explain. For me, I've been a reincarnated OtherKin for a long time. And the way I know that is just by the memories that have been awakened. Unfortunately, they're incredibly painful. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've been so sick recently too, is because I've had more memories awaken from being OtherKin and from reincarnating so many times. So each lifetime I've had relatively the same forms. Shh. Shh. Each lifetime I've had relatively the same forms. I think the only form that I haven't repeated for a while is the dragon type form, but that's mainly because my particular dragon doesn't exactly adapt well to this world. Number 11. What do you hope the OtherKin community will be like in 10 years? Are you for public awareness or against it? Why or why not? Honestly, I hope the OtherKin community in 10 years can be more open and actually out in the public, where we can walk around and not get stared at or discriminated against. I really do hope that we can eventually become public. And, I mean, they're probably going to just list it as another religion or spirituality, but if they did that, at least we could be out in the open. No, it's not exactly how I want it to be, like, determined or anything like that. It's not exactly how it should be viewed anyways. It's more of a culture, but but I think that's how it's going to end up being labeled. I really hope it doesn't, but if it helps us be out in the open without too many issues, because you're always going to have issues, then I think we should probably think about that and consider it as a spirituality, religious type thing. Even though it's not, I think that's how a lot of people are going to view it. Number 12. Do you have phantom or astral limbs? What are they? And how often do you feel them? I do have... Hush. I do have phantom limbs, and I actually feel them quite often. It's always fun when your tail goes numb. But I have wings and a tail. And of course, depending on the mood I'm in and how active I've been, depends on how readily I feel them, I guess you could say. They're always there and I always feel them. It's just sometimes with certain emotions they're a lot easier to maneuver and actually move as if they were real limbs. So yeah. Number 13. Do you mental shift? Have you ever harmed yourself or someone else during one? I'm almost constantly in a mental shift. That's kind of how I make it through the day, or pretty much how I make it through life in general. If I sit there and think on a human level too long, it just drives me nuts. It makes me feel too caged, so I'm always kind of in a mental shift. There was a time... Hush. There was a time when I had an odd kind of mental shift, and I did get hurt, and the person I was with did get hurt. It was an accident, really, because I wasn't used to that particular mind frame. And it hasn't happened since. It's only happened once. So hopefully that doesn't actually happen again. Number 14. Have you ever shifted at a time when it would be considered inappropriate? Actually, yes. Earlier I told you that I couldn't work a mundane job. So whenever I started feeling overly stressed, or something wasn't going my way, or one of my bosses was yelling at me for no reason, I would mental shift. And I guess you could say it's a good thing I had very good control of myself, because I probably would have bitten a lot of people. I know I've growled at some people before. So, yeah, I'd say being at work and mental shifting was kind of inappropriate. Stop. Lay down. Um, 15. Do you astral project or practice any occult craft? I do astral project. I haven't done it recently, mainly because I don't want to get stuck somewhere I don't want to be right now. A lot of times when I astral project, it's to go check on someone, or just to do my regular rounds, because I typically check on everybody at least once a week. It gets very tiring, but it's worth it. Shh. I also identify as pagan. I know pagan is kind of a generalized term. The reason why I say pagan is because I do tend to switch back between my Native American heritage and my Gypsy heritage. So I kind of switch back and forth. And I know it's kind of ironic because my hair is red, but I also have a bit of Scot-Irish in me. So this particular red in my hair is kind of dyed. But I have Scott Irish in me, so I do a little bit of that every now and then. I don't dabble in that too much, though, because I know they kind of have their own little definition of religion. That kind of fits into mine, depending on how I use it, I guess you could say. I also do a lot of work with energy, just strictly energy. It makes it a lot easier for me to determine how another person feels. It's also how I weed out a lot of truth from people. I don't do it on purpose, it's more instinctive. If I did it on purpose, then I would actually be a very good healer. And I could also do a whole lot more damage too. So I try to keep that in check. Number 16. Do you feel you are any sort of danger to society? I think, honestly, you can't say you are a danger, but you also can't say that you aren't a danger. Because, I mean, you can have a mundane with a gun and they're dangerous. You can have a mundane by themselves and they're dangerous. So, I mean, having an OtherKin determine whether or not they're dangerous to society really depends on the mood of that particular OtherKin. So I would have to say yes and no. Because if I'm really pissed off and I'm out in public, then yeah, I'm probably going to be a danger. But typically I keep myself under control well enough that I wouldn't be a danger. So, there's that. 17. Does your non-human identity complicate everyday life? If so, how? Like I said earlier, I've already kind of explained the job thing. But as far as actually interacting with other people, it does get kind of difficult because if I'm with someone for a long period of time, I get really annoyed with them. Just like the little quirks that they have really just annoy the crap out of me. And because my eyesight's not exactly the best, I have extremely sensitive hearing and smell. So I can't stand listening to people eat. I know that's really weird, but it's one of my pet peeves is listening to people just sit there and chomp on food. I also do not like it when I get disrespected. Like, I understand holding a conversation with someone and they have their part and you have your part. But every now and then I've encountered mundanes that will interrupt you just to make a point. Instead of letting you finish your point before they make their point, they just interrupt you, or they don't give, or they ask you a question and then they don't give you a chance to answer the question. I hate that. It drives me nuts. And being who I am, I give you respect if you give me respect. I mean, yeah, some people automatically get my respect because they're either on the same level as me or they've gone through something that's deserving of respect. The only thing I ask in return, really, is that if you're going to ask me something, give me an opportunity to actually answer you before you go off on another tangent trying to explain yourself. Give me a chance to answer your question because you might not need to explain yourself. I guess you could say that's more of my dragon coming out. No, I don't know everything in the world, but if you give me an opportunity, I can tell you what I do know. And if it's still not exactly clarifying as you want, then it gives you an opportunity to ask another question or explain what you mean. But if you're going to ask a question or engage in conversation with me, it has to be an intellectual conversation, and you have to give me a chance to answer. It's just the dragon in me. I'm sorry. Number 18.